Welcome to the future of understanding. This is NeuroMind Insights, where we unlock the power of your mind.
To understand why so many of us feel chronically exhausted today, we have to look inside the office of Dr. Anna Lembke. She is a psychiatrist and a leading global expert on addiction, operating right out of Stanford University. But between treating patients for severe clinical dependencies, she was hiding a secret. She was obsessively retreating to her office to binge-read cheap supernatural romance novels. The habit spiraled entirely out of her control. She found herself sacrificing sleep, neglecting her professional duties, and even ignoring her own children, all to secure her next reading fix. Here is someone whose entire career is dedicated to mapping the neurobiology of reward, and yet she lost control of her daily life to a stack of paperbacks. If a leading brain expert can fall into this trap, it shows how vulnerable we all are in the modern world. Our ancestors survived in an environment defined by extreme scarcity. To get a tiny release of dopamine, the brain's chemical reward, they had to track prey across harsh landscapes and fight for basic warmth and calories. Today, we live in a state of absolute abundance. You can access thousands of calories of processed sugar, endless digital entertainment, and global social validation with the slight movement of a single finger. Our biology is unprepared for this continuous flood of stimulation. You can feel the exact moment the system glitches. It's that heavy wave of sudden emptiness and anxiety that hits the second you put your smartphone down. We have engineered a reality with almost no physical barriers to pleasure, and that ease of access is precisely what is leaving so many of us feeling chronically anxious. Look closely at this animated scale. It represents a critical discovery in neurobiology. Our brains do not have separate processing centers for pleasure and pain. They are handled in the same location, functioning like a mechanical balance. When you consume an effortless reward, like eating a donut or scrolling through short videos, that scale aggressively tips to the side of pleasure. But your brain is programmed to seek balance. To pull the scale back to the middle, it summons tiny weights, invisible pain gremlins, dropping them onto the opposite side to counteract the high. If you continuously bombard your system with cheap rewards, the brain has to adapt. Those pain gremlins multiply and grow heavier until a massive pile of them crashes onto the scale. The baseline state of your mind shifts toward pain, and ordinary experiences, like a sunny day or a good conversation, no longer register as joyful. By endlessly pursuing artificial highs, we are biologically rewiring our own neurochemistry to guarantee a constant undercurrent of suffering. Dr. Lembke's clinic is full of people trapped in this cycle. Take the case of a college student named Delilah, who tried to self-medicate her severe daily anxiety by smoking marijuana. The substance initially pushed her scale toward pleasure, but over time, her brain compensated by loading up the opposite side, leaving her with a baseline anxiety 3 times worse than when she started. Another patient, Jacob, spent years chasing constant, extreme dopamine spikes through internet pornography. The physical consequence was severe. He exhausted his brain's dopamine receptors, making it biologically difficult for him to extract any joy from a real-world human relationship. This reveals a difficult loop. The digital tools and substances we use to escape anxiety are, biologically, the very things making it harder to recover. Based on Dr. Lembke's clinical research, a primary strategy to clear the weight off that scale is a 30-day fast from your specific source of cheap dopamine. This chart tracks mood over a typical 30-day reset, and the timeline is harsh. For the first 14 days, as the brain searches for its usual fix, you experience steep drops into anger and insomnia. But by weeks 3 and 4, the receptors heal, the line steadily climbs, and you begin feeling genuine joy from something as simple as a walk outside. And during that first month requires a strategy known as the Ulysses Pact. Just as the mythical sailor tied himself to the mast, to survive the deadly songs of the sirens, you have to intentionally strip away your own ability to give in. You lock yourself in using 3 types of barriers: physical, like charging your phone elsewhere; time limits, restricting video games to specific weekend hours; and categorical rules, like an absolute ban on glowing screens an hour before bed. Relying on sheer willpower to fight a biological craving almost always fails. Structuring your environment so that failing is difficult is the only reliable way to force a reset. A former drug addict named Michael discovered a counterintuitive trick to maintain his recovery. He forced himself into freezing cold water plunges every single morning. When you voluntarily subject your body to physical discomfort or grueling exercise, the brain seeks to balance the scale. To counteract the pain, it floods your system with natural dopamine. An effortless reward from a screen evaporates in about 10 minutes, leaving you depleted. But the reward earned through deliberate struggle elevates your baseline mood and focus for hours. We live in an economy mathematically optimized to hijack our attention. In an environment like this, true freedom isn't the ability to consume everything. It is the rare and difficult ability to walk away. To reclaim our minds, we have to stop running toward every easy escape. We have to actively choose the struggle, face the discomfort, and put in the work required to feel good again.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to NeuroMind Insights for more.